I am Zwane, a very popular name for the Zulu and Xhosa families that celebrates growth in the family or a newborn. I am a caring, kind, and loving male chauvinist, according to my sisters. I was born a stone's throw from the Golden Mile in Durban, yet it took me 2 decades to be able to walk it for well-known reasons. The first 20 years of my life were lived in Umlazi, a black township a few kilometers south of Durban. I grew up in a classic government-issued four-room house with my parents and 4 siblings. Though not obvious, I am a true product of the township and was fortunate enough to learn self-sufficiency and the art of survival at a tender age in the Boy Scouts movement. To this day, I still live by the motto, be prepared. As a grandson of Methodist church ministers, I grew up among the pews, a time that shaped my moral compass. My mother tongue is Xhosa and my father tongue is Zulu, and so I'm fluent in both. However, I'm a little bit more fluent in the Queen's language because of having been born of a father who was a teacher who majored in English, philosophy, and anthropology. I spend my moments of solitude in deep thought, meditation, listening to classic music, reading and writing. I love nature. I love the outdoors, adventure, exploring, jazz, the arts, fine wine, mentoring and teaching, as well as children. From childhood, I've always been fascinated by creation, the universe, our home planet, and what makes it tick, as well as space science, such that the Apollo missions of the late 60s and 70s launched my love for science and the inspiration to seek deeper understanding of how things work, the science of things. Here is a brilliant Kevin Costner historical documentary drama of the untold truth about who put man into space and on the moon. It was just a couple of brilliant black women mathematicians. If you missed it on Netflix, Google it. It may be an inspiration for you too. This documentary, Hidden Figures, rhymes with my situation post-matriculation. I could not be admitted at the then white local universities for further studies in astrophysics and mathematics. And so, with limited options, I landed at the well-renowned, previously all-black university, the University of Fort Hare in the Eastern Cape, where I obtained the Bachelor of Science and honors degrees majoring in applied mathematics, computer science, and chemistry. Now, Fort Hare is an institution with a colorful history. It is a place that shaped some of the great African statesmen as well as artists. It is also a place where I unwittingly fell head over heels in love with chemistry and, of course, my good old wife, and my destiny changed forever. I went on to pursue further studies in chemistry in the United States of America, where I obtained a Master of Science degree at the Notre Dame University, the University of Notre Dame, rather, in Indiana, and not far from the windy city Chicago, which I visited quite often. This was followed by a memorable experience of living in Washington, D.C., a stone throw from the White House, whilst I was working at the Catholic University of America in Maryland. Mother Africa and marriage called me back home, and I went and obtained a Doctor of Philosophy degree at the University of Witwatersrand, where I subsequently taught for 5 years. I've had various academic engagements and collaborations globally, including working at Leeds University in the UK, Rhodes University in the Eastern Cape, the University of Ghana, and the University of Zimbabwe, and have in the region of about 297 citations globally and counting. It was my interest in applied industrial chemistry that landed me at Sasol, where I got stuck for 20 years due to the diversity of new challenges, new areas to explore, and the diversified personal growth experience I got exposed to internally and externally. My practical career at Sasol evolved on distinct yet related business science disciplines. That is, strategic management, business management, corporate governance, business development, stakeholder relations management, corporate communications, reputation management, entrepreneurship, and corporate responsibility, with concomitant further academic studies at mainly the Gordon Institute of Business Science, GIBS, the Manchester University Business School in the UK, the University of California in the US, Northwest University Business School in the Northwest Province, and the Institute of Directors in Sentin. Sasol is a global organization which had sizable interest in the United States, Qatar, Germany, Malaysia, and Mozambique did not keep me at home either. I'm justifiably indebted to Sasol for having allowed me to pursue diverse and multiple interests beyond the call of duty, done under the banner of business development, brand equity, and reputation management. I retired from Sasol as an executive manager and have served and still serving in various boards of public and private institutions. And simultaneously, I have been and continue to be involved in socio-economic development initiatives and business development support. Now, as one gets older and matures further, interests change, and I now find myself in the mystical world of spiritual formation. This is my latest interest. Interestingly, people have always asked me about the transition from being a classic scientist to being a business scientist. I've always told them that it's all around science and it all runs on logic. Logic is the golden thread across the disciplines. You see, in life, when you find your golden thread, a whole new world opens up, and success lies on being able to conquer yourself. The one thing I have learned, though, is that success indeed does not come from what you do occasionally, but comes from what you do consistently. Getting to Coschem, my Sasol business development adventures on product development and exploring new markets led me to Coschem. I founded Cerebel as an outlet for food-grade Sasol chemicals in the cosmetic industry. Cerebel, as you know, is now a private company. And by the way, the name Cerebral actually originates from beauty wax, which I changed to after I visited to In Cosmetics in France and found that the beauty industry is very French. Also, French just sounds a lot sexier. At the same time, my philanthropic side of me got me onto the board of the Global World Health Organization Rollback Malaria Partnership in Geneva, Switzerland, where I saw an opportunity to also engage in researching and developing personal protection products, incorporating Sasol products in support of the initiative. The World Health Organization's greatest challenge at the time was the costly weekly treatment of mosquito nets with insecticides. I took the challenge and worked on developing and finally put forward a patent for an insecticide slow-release, long-lasting net together with a suite of personal protection products. In both cases, Coschem's cosmetic science formulation knowledge was essential. It's been a 20-year fulfilling journey with Coschem. What is gratifying is that the products I developed with my colleagues at Coschem for both these associated ventures are still in the market today. Here is something very anomalous. The work with the WHO led me into delving into what I wrongly believed is totally out of my league. That is diplomatic relations. My experience in business stakeholder relations, however, held me in good stead. Diplomatic relations opened up fascinating friendships, international collaborations, and political networks with opportunities I would not have imagined. It was a time where I nearly changed my destiny again. One thing, though, is quite certain. There is power in diversified networks. Also, in my constant and continuous deep involvement in socio-economic development, entrepreneurship, and business development, and contributions I've made therein, especially for communities, led me to be appointed by Government SA as the chairperson of the Small Enterprise Development Agency, SEDA, where I served for an unprecedented 3 terms and was also the founding executive director of the Free State Investment and Promotion Agency, which is an agency of the Free State government. This agency was later incorporated into the Free State Development Corporation. The fact is, government, local and international, kept me busy, and spending time in parliament and diplomatic missions certainly did usurp my time, but it was worth it. It was also an honor and a privilege to be recognized as the 2016 Extraordinary Professor of Entrepreneurship and Business Science by the Northwest University, among the various accolades I have received over the years. Interestingly, although I feel I've done enough to earn the title, I believe it's more appropriate to have a differentiating formal doctorate qualification in business science, an idea under implementation. As you can see, I've studied, worked, lived, and traveled to almost all the continents of the world except Australia, and I have engaged with and got to understand the diversity of cultures from the West all the way to the East. I must say, this greatly enriches one's life. Finally, in pursuit of spiritual rejuvenation, I am shortly to embark on a 2 weeks, 100-kilometer solitude walk from Portugal to the Santiago de Compostela Cathedral. This is said to be the site where the tomb of Saint James, the one in the Bible, lies, and there I shall attend Mass. In everything I've done and everything I've achieved in life, nothing has given me the greatest satisfaction and the most pleasure as seeing my baby boy take to the sky. And fly. This is a first for my family, a first for my family line. I feel so thankful, so grateful and blessed for all that God has successfully seen me through, and I constantly pray that He continues to make me a conduit of His blessings to others. Go ahead and be the change you want to see in the world, as Mahatma Gandhi said, and do stay blessed.